Hey, we've been working on long division and we're using the step-by-step method. Well, the first thing you have to do when you're using the step-by-step method is to remember a saying, and the first letter in each saying gives us a hint. And our saying is, so does Max sell cheesy burritos? And you have to roll your R rapidly. And what each one of those means, and I'm going to write down what they mean so that you can remember. So does Max sell cheesy burritos rapidly? Remembering that funny little saying helps us to remember the steps in long division. Our first one, so, helps us to remember that the first thing we do is we do our setup. And I'll explain that in a minute. Then we divide. Then we multiply. Our S stands for subtract. Cheesy reminds us that after we subtract, we check. After we check, we bring down. And after we bring down, we either repeat or we have our remainder. So the first letter reminds us the step that we do. It gives us that little hint. So if we have 329 and we're trying to divide it by 4 people, the first thing that we have to do is that we're going to set it up. We're going to rewrite our division problem by using this division sign because it helps us to keep track of our place value a little bit easier. We put our dividend inside the den or the house, and we put our divisor on the outside. And then we do our setup. The first thing in setup is that we put our beach chairs, because we'd all rather be on a beach. Our beach chairs go underneath every single digit. That helps us to remember that we have to fill these beach chairs with the digit, even if it's 0. Then the next step of our setup is that we want to put a little tiny multiply sign right here to remember that we multiply our beach chairs by our divisor. Then we're going to put our remainder and a line, because sometimes we forget to put our remainder, but if we put it up there right now, we remember. And then you're going to write your times tables down the side. So if we are dividing by 4, we're going to put our 4 times tables down the side. 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 1 is 1, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 6 is 24, 4 times 7 is 28, 4 times 8 is 32, and 4 times 9 is 36. You'll never need to go past 9 because just like you can't put more than one place value in a beach chair, you can only put one digit in a beach chair. It only fits one person. Then we're going to divide. So we're thinking that we have 329 pieces of candy and we want to divide them as equally as we can between 4 people. We're breaking apart this big number into groups. We could do it one by one, but we have math, and math makes it a little bit easier. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to kind of cover up all those other digits so that we don't get confused. We can do one digit at a time. And then we're going to divide 3 into 4. So then we go over to our count bys and we're looking for a 3. And we don't want to go over. Well, will 3 divide into 4? We only have 3, so we can't give it to 4 people. So we know it has to be 0. So we're going to put a beach chair underneath our 0 to help us remember that that 0 goes over here in our first beach chair. That's our divide. Now we're going to multiply. Our next step. 0 times 4 is 0. Our next step is subtract. So we subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. Our next step is to check. And what that means is that we're always checking to see if what we have remaining after we've subtracted is smaller than our divisor. Is 3 smaller than 4? Yes, so we're on the right track. If it's ever bigger, you know you've done something wrong and you need to go back and redo that step. But since what we subtracted is 3 is smaller than 4, then we can move on. So we're going to uncover our piece of paper to see if we have any more digits, and we've got one more, so we're going to work on 2. The next step in burritos means we're going to bring it down. So we bring our 2 down, and that is our new digit that we're working with, 32. Then we go over here and we're going to ask ourselves, we're going to divide 32 into 4 people. So we're looking for an answer of 32. Well, 32 will divide into 4 people 8 times. So we're going to put a beach chair under our 8 to remind us that we fill 8 in our next beach chair. There we put our 8. Then we do the next step, which is multiply. 8 times 4 is 32. Our next step is subtract. So we subtract 32 minus 32. That is 0. And then we're going to check. Is this answer smaller than 4? Is 0 smaller than 4? Yes. That means we're on the right track. If we're done, we'll see if we have any more digits. Nope, we've got one more digit. So we're going to do our next step, bring it down. We bring our 9 down, and that is our new digit that we're working with. So we're going to go over to our math facts, and we're looking to see how many times we can divide 9 into 4. Well, we can't go over because if we did 12, we don't have 12. We only have 9. So we have 8. We'll divide by 4 2 times. So we put our beach chair under 2, and 2 goes up here in our beach chair up here. 2 times 4 is 8. And then we subtract that. 9 minus 8 is 1. Then our next step is cheesy. We got to check it. Is 1 smaller than 4? Yes. So that means we're done if we don't have any more digits, and we don't. So what we do with that 1, we bring it up here and we put it in our remainder. That is our quotient. And since multiplication is the inverse operation of division, we can use multiplication to check to see if our answer is right. So we're going to see, we take 82 and we multiply it by 4 people. 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times 8 is 32. But don't forget that you gave 1 away. 1 was remaining. So you're going to add that remainder in. 8 plus 1 is 9. Bring down your 2. Bring down your 3. 329. If this digit is the same as this digit, then you know you did your division problem right, because what you've said is that you started out with 329 pieces of candy. You want to divide it between 4 friends. Each friend gets 82 pieces of candy, and 1 is left over for Mom. And then you checked it. 82 pieces of candy times 4 friends equals 328, plus the 1 that was left over for Mom gives us 329 pieces of candy. And that's how we've been learning long division.